Yeah.
People would love it, from the outside looking in. They don't know how hard we work. Look at you. I mean, I'm over 40 years in this business. Everybody would like to be Coach Giggs, but nobody would like to go through a lot of the things Coach Giggs goes through in his career, in his life, and in his day to day. It's a lot of work behind the scenes. It's a lot of adversity behind the scenes. It's a lot of stress behind the scenes. It's emotionally draining at times.
Yes.
But the result, there's no result like it in the world. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Right. They just said it was going to be worth it.
Exactly.
And I can tell you, if you keep showing up, if you keep outlasting everything around you, the rewards at the end of the day, they're well worth every struggle we've been through.
Amen. All right. Bulldog, I am so excited to see you, and I want to welcome all of you who are watching this broadcast, World Class Mindset. Again, today, I have another incredible guest speaker. But before I turn it over to you, Bulldog, let me just give our audience a little bit of backdrop on who you are. Most people, I would say, who are watching this with our company, obviously know who you are. And so I want to just share some of these facts about you, Bulldog, for those who are not a part of our company, who are tuning into this broadcast and to listen to you. So let me give all of you out there a little backdrop on who this incredible human being is. First of all, Bulldog, how long has it been? When did you and I meet? It's been a long time, maybe 15 years ago?
Just plus one, 16 years ago.
16
I remember like it was
ago.
yesterday.
So we're going to be soon approaching 2 decades. And, Mr. Rappaport always used to say, to know you is to love you. To know this guy is to love him. I wish the whole world could get to spend some time with this guy. But let me give you a little background. First of all, like myself, Bulldog started with our great company, American Income Life. And over those years that he has been here, 17 of them, he has racked up an incredible amount of success. First of all, he's been internationally recognized on national stage before thousands of people 7 times, not 1 or 2, 7. Virtually, he has led every category that he has been in, as a salesperson, then as a sales leader, and now as an owner of one of the largest agencies in the company. Second, he partnered with the #1 organization in all of AIL and promoted state directors and home office staff more than any other organization in company's history. Many of the leaders that are now leading our great company came from his tutelage, as well as home office staff, where they sometimes need backroom people, and they seem to, Bulldog is generous to supply them with all of that as well. His residual income, for those of you who don't yet know our insurance industry, and by the way, if you're watching this and you're not earning what you feel you're worth, give me a call. But for Bulldog, he is earning at the rate of $500,000 a year just in residual income alone. Now, while these are all business accomplishments, one of the reasons that I have fallen in love with someone like Bulldog here is because of him as a man. He is an incredible father, a great husband, has a beautiful family who are the light of his life, Kyle and Jacob. And so you're going to be hearing from somebody who's really the total package, professionally, personally, and in every way. So again, Bulldog, welcome, and thank you for joining me in this broadcast today. You were in a totally different business before you joined AIL. In fact, you, I believe, ran nightclubs and were a bouncer. I'm going to let you tell that. What was that transition like? What advantages do you feel that you brought to your career now from your past? Because a lot of people come to AIL with very different backgrounds.
Sure. Coming in, I was in the nightclub business for easily 15 years, prior to coming to this amazing company. And it was something completely different from what we do. However, it was similar in the same light. And I didn't even realize that coming in. being a business owner and coming into this type of environment, my business owner mindset, a lot of times people can't separate from the employee mindset to the business owner mindset.
Right.
And before I was an agency owner per se, everyone that comes on board is opening their own business. They're in business for themselves, just not by themselves.
Right.
They have plenty of support, plenty of help, plenty of leadership in order to get them on the path to actual ownership. However, when I came in, I knew how to act as a business owner. I knew that nobody was going to wake me up to go to work. Nobody was there to say clock in, clock out, punch in, punch out, when to take breaks, things in the employee side of things. I knew whatever I was going to get out of this organization was going to be, significantly related to what I was willing to put in to this organization. Interestingly enough, when I first came into this business, it was like I just wanted to go to work and come home. That was my goal. Kelly and I had talked about what the vision would look like, and I was in a place in my life where it was like I was tired of being the owner. I didn't want to be responsible for other people. I didn't want to have to worry about the bottom line. I just wanted to go to work, come home, take care of my family. However, quickly it morphed into something different because I could see the similarities of what I had been doing before, but the product, I didn't have to worry. The product that we have, life insurance, was something that's infinite. There's never a supply issue with it. There's never a back order with it. We have unlimited amounts of the product, and we don't even have to pay for the product to be on the shelf. Similar to whereas in the nightclub business, I had to put the bottles on the shelf. I had to have the food ready to go. We had to have the lights, the cameras, the music, the fog, all that had to be put in first. And when I came here, I was like, wow, the product is unlimited and I don't even have to buy the thing. I just have to make, connection between people and sell the product.
Right. How important was it at that time? And how important is it now to have Kelly's support? Because we see a lot of people in our business and entrepreneurs, people driving, and they really, some of them get great support at home and some are really not. How important was that support from Kelly, and how did that all come to fruition?
At the beginning, it was everything. She gave me the freedom to go all in with this opportunity. She had a goal of me back then to if I could make $2,000 a month with this opportunity, we'd have been good. That was her goal. She's like, if you can make 2,000, we'll be good to go. She was working back then. That would have pushed us over, 6 figures where we wanted to be. And she said, I'll give you 90 days to go after this thing.
Wow. So she gave you a deadline. I like that woman. 90 days, get your act together, pal.
Absolutely. Goals without deadlines or what? You could almost finish that one for me.
Yeah.
Just opportunities not realized, So she said, after 90 days, I gotta have $6,000 in the bank from your opportunity. She's like, you can go as hard as you want, as many hours as you want, as many days as you want. She said, I don't even really care if I see you for 90 days because you have so much belief in this opportunity. She said, but at the end of 90 days, if you don't have $6,000, I'm going to fire you. And
let me go deeper in here. You have an incredible mindset. I have had the opportunity to really get to know you. A lot of our folks out there don't, some of them do. What are the key elements to your mindset?
Perseverance, for one. I've been through a lot in my life, personally, professionally, but you got to stick to it. You got to really have that tunnel vision, tenacity, perseverance, competitive nature, for sure. I forgot how competitive I was until I got into this environment, and it really brought me back to life. And I'm not saying just competing against other people, competing from within as well. Those are really important mindsets for me, and the ability to overcome failures, the ability not to get too high when you're having success, not to get too low when you're going through challenges, and really just keep it steady and keep it going, and just understand, this thing's a marathon, not a sprint, but I want to go as fast as I can and as hard as I can while I'm within that marathon, because I'm only here for a little bit of time.
How about this mind, body, spirit? I know you're a practitioner of that. I've heard that from you. How does that play a role in your life?
I think it's everything. You know, from the time you wake up till the time you go to sleep, there's a lot in between there. You know, and if you don't wake up and get some positivity into your brain, like we all have muscles in our body, but our mental muscle is the most important one that we have. You got to feed some positivity in there every single morning through podcasts, through reading, you know, a scripture or two here in the morning, just to get the spirit in you. But positivity has to come because the world's a negative place, you know, and the human brain goes negative like by default until
Right.
you've trained it to go positive and always find the light in any darkness that there is, because the world will bring you the darkness. And oftentimes, as you know, as business owners like us, you know, by the time first thing we check our email, there's probably 5 or 6 things in there that we weren't expecting, didn't know were coming, but we got to have the ability to face that adversity, face those challenges in a positive mindset. So first thing you got to do, you got to listen to a podcast. You got to feed positivity into your brain.
Obviously, you didn't ride the escalator, you took the steps. What were some of the most valuable lessons that you learned through the losing periods? In other words, when things didn't go your way, because as you know, and I know, we wake up every day and things don't always go our way throughout the day. And that, I think, is for all of us. What were some of the lessons that you learned during that process?
You know, Coach, I got to give you some credit. You know, at the very beginning, you know, within the first few months of my career, you visited our Saray Smith offices at that time. And I remember you pulling up in a limousine, and the big guy came out and opened the door for you. And you came in, and I mean, just like a real life cartoon character, if you will, but like a real person. You know, I'd never seen anything like that. I've never seen somebody, you know, I'd never been around people that have like large amounts of money before. And I had a certain mindset of like what that person would look like, how they would act. And I can tell you, you know, Mr. Sarace, you know, Marcus Smith, the Simons, I mean, everybody out there that I know who have really done big things, like when you get to know them, their heart is in the right place.
Isn't that
Their
true?
minds are in the right place.
Right.
You know, the message always isn't the easiest. However, if you know where the heart and you know where the mind is, it doesn't matter what the message is, because you know it's coming from a place of love. But you gave a talk, and the first thing you said is you got to hang around winners, and you got to keep showing up. You got to hang around winners, and you got to keep showing up. Surrounding yourself with good people, with great people. And that's the sole reason I've had the success I've had. I've been surrounded by a lot of great people in my life. And it was a conscious choice of who to surround myself with.
Right.
You know, they say you become like the top 5 people you associate with. So, you know, you got to be real careful with your circle, who's in it. And it's the truth. I've seen it over and over and over again over the last almost 17 years with this great company. But no matter what happens, you know, it's not sometimes the ball's going to bounce your way. Sometimes the ball's going to bounce the other way. You know, you can't control where the ball bounces. You can only control how you respond.
Yeah.
So I always try to find the light in even the darkest situations. And believe me, I've been in some dark situations in business. It's not always been sunshine and rainbows and daisies out here. You know, in the business world, it's a tough place to survive in. It's an even tougher place to thrive in. But you got to keep showing up. And that was the biggest lesson I learned real early.
Love it.
Just outlast everybody around you, and success will just happen with time.
What are the most important qualities that you look for in these team members in your agency, in your business?
Yeah, it's a great question, Coach. You know, there's an old adage, H2O. You know, we need H2O in our bodies. We've got to drink water. You know, and H2O to me means you got to be hungry, you got to be humble, and you got to be really open to coaching. You know, if you're hungry, you're wanting to go after something, you'll work and work and work till you get it. And work ethic is huge in our opportunity. You got to have a great work ethic to survive. If not, it's going to eat you alive.
Amen to that.
You know, and for me, it was like I knew I was willing to work as hard as it took, as much as it took, to get to where, you know, I needed to be. The work ethic was never an issue with me. Humility is very important in what we do. You know, we all have egos. I mean, in order to survive, you got to have an ego. You got to have, you know, a little chip on your shoulder to keep pushing through adversities. But you can't let that ego overtake who you are. You know, ego edging God out, you know, edging greatness out. Ego is expensive. There's so many things that ego can hurt, but there's so many things that ego can also help. But then when it comes to being coachable, you know, that's one of the biggest qualities it takes in this opportunity in our organization. You got to be coachable. You got to be, you know, willing to make yourself vulnerable to coaching and follow plans that are called and executed. And then, you know, competitive nature is so big.
How do you get people to listen? Is it something that they bring, or can we bring that out in people where they're more open? What role do you play as the leader to get them to be coachable?
You know, you have to be able to show them some success. You know, you have to be able to show them, you know, what the opportunity can do for you, what it has done for many others, countless others. You got to show them some success, and then they'll start to realize that, you know, the coaching works. The coaching works. You know, not the thing I love about what we do is most people don't come into our business like polished, ready to go. Like, not too many millionaires walk in the door. I've seen a ton come out the door and built within here. And don't get the wrong impression when I talk about money. Like, you know,
no. I hope no one gets the wrong impression. You know what it is? I've heard, Bulldog, about money. You're only concerned about it to the extent you don't have it. When you have it, you're concerned. But
absolutely.
go ahead, keep going.
You do the right things with it. You know, money gives you options at the end of the day. But when you can show someone success and you can show someone a different way to life and, you know, expose them to the positivity that we try to expose all of our people to, you know, they'll tend to fall right in line. But so, first, to get someone to be coachable, first thing you have to do is develop a relationship with them. You know, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You know, we hear that from John Maxwell all the time.
Yes. And how do you do that? Tell me how you go about building that relationship. What do you do? Take them out for drinks, Bulldog, and man the bar and become a bouncer? What do you do? How do you build
No, not even so much in that regard, you know, especially in this virtual opportunity. Like our opportunities, you know, 90% virtual in our organization. So it's like people connecting with people is a skill set that you have to have. My role in our organization is really in their first 90 days, in their first 6 months, I get to invest a lot of time into them. You know, there's 4 or 5 times a week I'm with our brand new agents, just talking to them and trying to teach them how to talk, teach them how to think in different situations. And, you know, identifying the ones that are most coachable is what I do. And I really press in with those individuals to try to get them promoted, to try to get them, you know, getting some traction in our organization and getting some quick success. Just, you know, working on their mindset and working on their skill set. So the relationship develops pretty quick.
What's the biggest mistake, if there is one, or mistakes that you've made in the building of your business? And if you had to do some of that stuff over again, what would it be? How could someone learn from your mistakes, if there were any that you had? What were they?
You know, I've made a ton of them, you know, just I mean, I still do every single day. I'm not perfect. You know, Mr. Surace always says, you know, we all have construction barrels around us. So, you know, I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. That's for sure. You know, maybe one of the mistakes, and there's, I mean, just really understanding that in business, not everybody that starts with you is going to finish with you.
Okay.
You know, and I think there's this thing in the world where, you know, if you get to a certain level and maybe, you know, somebody else's vision or somebody else's goals just kind of separates from yours, and it's time for them to go on and pursue maybe a different direction, you know, just understand that it's never really personal in that regard. You know, sometimes you can get too close to your people where it can kind of cloud the end result at the end of the day.
I've heard that, right?
We're in business. You know, we all have, you know as well as I do, we all have a number that we got to hit. You know, and we have great relationships with our leaderships within the company, but at the end of the day, we are in business together as well. So really just keeping that line of that close relationship, and then the business aspect at the same time. Sometimes it can get blurred. Accountability is one of the hardest things that we do, as good as I do, and holding people that are close to you accountable. Like, we've got great relationships with the wives in our deal, with the girlfriends in our deals, with the children that are in our deals, and knowing, them on that deep interpersonal level, and then being able to hold them accountable at the same time takes a lot of skill, takes a lot of what's the word I'm trying to it just takes a lot for lack of a better term. There's a lot that goes into it, but at the end of the day, you're responsible for that wife, you're responsible for those children, you're responsible for that individual. So, what I want to look into the wives or the girlfriends or the support systems of one of my top leaders that's maybe not doing such a great job, and let them know I'm responsible for it. No, I don't want to be that person. It's my job. It's my responsibility to make sure that they're having success in the organization.
As I listen to you, it sounds to me in the time that we've spent here that you understood probably early on and continue that the great things don't come natural. The great things, being lazy is easy. Not confronting is easy. Not holding people accountable is easy. Everything that I hear you doing, it's not easy. It's very hard. So if I had to kind of summarize or ask you to summarize in this mindset area, if Bulldog, the lights were turned out, okay, tonight on you, and the whole world didn't have any more Bulldog, what would you want the whole world to know, from your family to the people that work for you, about this mindset thing? Because like I just kind of explained, the easy stuff is being lazy, not doing things, not being accountable. That seems to come natural to us as human beings. It's not as natural to do those things. What would you say to all of us if we wanted to have the life that you have? How would you close this out in summation for us?
In summary, my care for people is one parts of my legacy that I would like to leave behind.
Okay.
People that have been close to me genuinely know how much I care about them. Mm-hmm. But listen, I'm not for everybody. I'm an intense individual. There's been people that come in and love me, and then there's people that aren't going to love me. You can't please all the people all the time. And if you try to do it, you'll probably drive yourself crazy, but I'm definitely not for everybody. But the ones that know I'm down for them, I'm close to them, they know my loyalty is like no other.
Is there anything else that you want to tell our audience that you feel you need mindset wise in order to achieve a life of dreams? Because you're living a dream life. I mean, people really would love to live your life. What else, anything else that you would close out with and tell people here?
People would love it, from the outside looking in. They don't know how hard we work. Look at you. I mean, I'm over 40 years in this business. Everybody would like to be Coach Giggs, but nobody would like to go through a lot of the things Coach Giggs goes through in his career, in his life, and in his day to day. It's a lot of work behind the scenes. It's a lot of adversity behind the scenes. It's a lot of stress behind the scenes. It's emotionally draining at times.
Yes.
But the result, there's no result like it in the world. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Right. They just said it was going to be worth it.
Exactly.
And I can tell you, if you keep showing up, if you keep outlasting everything around you, the rewards at the end of the day, they're well worth every struggle we've been through.
Amen to that. Bulldog, you and I know, are extremely blessed. Our mindsets, we share the same values. We've been blessed. We've earned more than we ever dreamed that we would earn. By the way, we have to both give that a heads up or a thumbs up to the insurance industry and to this company, because more millionaires are born out of our company and our industry than any other. I know you know this and I know this, but I love what you just said, that everybody wants what you have and or what I have, but are you willing to do what we did? And sacrificing and caring about people and all these things that you've shared today, I know for those who are watching this are going to be absolutely blessed. So Bulldog, I love you. I love you forever and ever. Please, hugs and kisses to your wife, Kelly. anything else, man, remember the lights are about to go out. Anything else that you want to tell our audience that they need to do in order to get this mindset of yours? Come on.
Absolutely. You know, whatever you want to achieve in life, you know, nobody's going to do it for you. At the end of the day, it's all on you to show up, show out, perform, raise the level of your performance, raise the level of performance of everybody around you. At the end of the day, nobody's going to drop it in your lap. You got to get out there and you got to work for it. That's the biggest catch there is.